Good morning, everyone. So here we are with the second webinar, that is you should know about it as to begin your career as software engineer. So resource person is Nagroj M. Masuti. So he's a certified Scrum master. So he is going to deliver the session. I will also welcome our beloved HOD sir, Dr. Ravi Adel sir. Sir, welcome for the this webinar. So we'll continue with the session. So Nagraj can continue with this session. Thank you.
Hi all, very good morning to all. So today we are going to discuss a, topic on you should know about it to begin your career as a software engineer. So just before that, myself Nagraj, I am working as a technical lead in FIME India, and I'm also a certified Scrum Master. Okay, so without making it late, we'll move for the webinar session. So these are the today's topic. So trending programming languages and standard application, desktop application. What do you mean with the web application? The program languages, version control, SDLC, all these things. Okay. So here one point is that when we want to get a job in a software industry, we no need to specifically look for the learning programming language. There are other parallel technologies we can learn. For example, which I listed here, like a version controller and SDLC, Agile. Okay, these things are also what we can say in the software industry. It is used like anything. Okay, it might be we might be a Java developer or a C sharp developer or Android developer. We might be any programming language developer. Okay, but the thing is that these things are using common for all, with respect to of irrespective of any language. This will be used in all the industries. Okay, so I will be going to discuss about it more detail in the next slides. And the first topic was, as I told, the trending programming languages. Uh, as you can see over here, so these are the programming languages which are listed out. I took a reference of this link, okay, and this is up to 2019 quarter three. Okay, this statistics. So as you can see here, Python is the most booming language in the current marketing industry. Why means it's Python has more inbuilt functions which make developer life easy actually, and it has grown widely in so many industries as well. If you see in the medical industry, there is something called BioPython package will be available. If you see in the automobile industry, there is something called AutoPython is available. Okay, so it is evolved with the more inbuilt functionalities, and it's a scripted language. It is easy to learn. It's like a visual script. Okay, so the whatever you think we can code it, whatever you can speak in the same way we can write the codes. So that is how the Python is developed. That is why it is becoming more and more popular. If you see in our day-to-day life, the YouTube, what we are seeing it is developed using a Django framework. That is again written in a Python, and also most of the Google APIs were developed using a Python. Okay, and when I say the statistics, it is up to 2009 quarter 3. Okay, and here are some programming languages like Objective C. So here you can see the people are using it less. It doesn't mean that this programming language don't have a scope. If you see Objective C, it is mainly used for the Apple applications. Okay, as we see in most of the cases. So of course the Apple users are less. Okay, so that might be the reason also this counting might be less. And if you see the last one is a Kotlin. Kotlin recently came into the market. It is a plugin for Android Studio for what we can say mobile application development. So this is a just now came into the market. Means around like I think 2 years back. Maybe it came into the market. That's why it is less. Maybe tomorrow also it might be come to the top. Okay, so as I told now, the Python is currently leading the software industry. Okay, so if you want to become a software developer or something, so I will prefer that. I would suggest that you can learn the Python. Okay, so also the Java, C sharp, these things, and so some of the industries also they were still preferring the Java, C sharp, PHP, C++, C, which is the basic program language. We all know it. Okay, so the next one, the standalone application. Uh, the standard application here is What does mean the standard application is? As the definition said over here, is also called a portable application. It's a program which is used to write and read its configuration settings into accessible folder in the computer. Okay, it's a one application which has all the configuration, all the things in the one computer itself. We no need to connect with some other computer to communicate or to use the application. Everything will be in a single application, uh, using what we can say, including its configurations. For example, the notepad, what we use in day-to-day life for the notepad. So if you see the notepad, we can write anything over here, okay, and we can zoom it, okay, we can format it. It has all the configuration. It's a one standard application. Similarly, like a this one also, the Microsoft Word, it's also standard application. You can change the font, you can change the color, you can put a table. So all the configuration will be there. We don't need online support for that, okay, to use the application. So those are called standard applications. And the next topic is the desktop application. A desktop application is a computer software designed to perform a group of coordinated functions and tasks for the beneficial of users. Okay, desktop application, standalone applications looks quite similar. Okay, so a desktop application is like it might have its configuration updates from the server. So there are, you might seen some softwares. So when you launch it, it will start downloading the some updates. Okay, for example, our OS. So if you connect to the internet, start downloading the drivers or latest updates from the server. Okay, so our OS software, what it is, a desktop application, the Windows 7 or Windows 10, whichever might be the OS. Okay, that is the desktop application which need some sort of online support, not while using, but to put it updates and all those things. Okay, this is called a desktop application. And next one is the web application. We will be knowing these things. Okay, so just I want to put into a definitions. So web application is the one which will be using most of the time we can see that HTTP protocol, HTTP and www dot something, so which is actually it is really, a software application will be there in the remote place, will be from the other computer, will be accessing it. Okay, so by putting the proper URL, by using some IP and port address, we'll be using it. Okay, so these are the pretty common things. So just to have a one clear definition, I put these things. And later one, we can see that this programming languages. So in the programming language, when we say, there will be always two things: the front end languages and the back end languages. Okay, we'll see in more detail. So these are the front end languages which are currently in the market. So first one you can see here is the React JS. It is a basic code in the JavaScript. And next one is the jQuery. Next one is the Angular. Okay, and next one is the Vue and Angular.js. So these you can see again with the statistics, how many people are using it. Okay, and it is till April 22, 2019. Okay, this statistic as per this one. And based on your interest, you can learn anything. Okay, these all are based on the JavaScript and even Angular. It's what we can say base is in a JavaScript, but nowadays it is what we can say, it's coding part we can do in a TypeScript, which is very easy actually. But when we compile it again, the TypeScript will be converted to JavaScript and it will be get compiled. Okay, so these are the programming language which will be used. So why we need these front end languages means, so basically when we develop application, so we won't always using it in a only desktop. Okay, we need it in a mobile, we need it in a tab, we need it in some other big screen, LCD screens or something like that. Okay, so that time we should have a proper alignment and all. So nowadays with these programming languages, very convenient to make such a kind of applications with more inbuilt functionalities. Okay, it will not make heavy to the PC. We can say the CPU which is using, because most of the latest or computers or laptop, what we say, it will always come with the two processors, GPU and CPU, the graphic processing unit and the central processing unit, where GPU is specifically for handling the UI part, where CPU is basically for handling the business part, business logic part. So these are the programming language where program languages where it will use the GPUs and it will make a burden less on the CPU, which make a processing very fast actually. So that is why, sorry. So most of the people were using the preferring a separate UI language which is dedicated for the front end. Okay, so you can learn about in the online, you can learn about these things in the online, or you will get so many tutorials. Okay, so again, these are the backend languages. Okay, this is the scheme, the first slide what I put, the same I put over here. Okay, so here one more thing we need to concentrate that when I say it's a backend language, it is not specific. I can't say that it can't be used for a front end. Okay, it can be used for a front end. For example, Python. There is something called Kindler package will be available. Using that, we can develop application in the front end as well. Even this Java, there will be some package will be available. With that also we can develop a front end. Even with the C sharp, there's a technology called a WPF ASP.NET. There also we can develop the front end. Okay, why people are preferring this one? The reason what I told, it is to support a cross functionality, to support the different dimension. What we can say accessories or tools. So these are very flexible and it will use the GPU as I told. Okay, that is why the people were preferring these things as a front end languages. Okay, and these things for a backend languages to make our, what we can say, backend process. It depends on the CPU. Okay, so to make it a faster. Okay, these things will be very convenient, and these are the OOPS languages. Whatever is showing here, I think except C. Okay, so all are like OOPS concept, very easy to write the our business logic what we want to achieve. Okay, and as I told, these are the backend languages. Okay, you can learn anyone. So if you start learning these things as well, so when you want to get into the software industry, not necessary that we should have to go to the Java, C Sharp, Python only. So you can concentrate. If you are very good at a design or something, you can concentrate on these things. The React JS, Angular, Vivo, jQuery, all these things. Okay. Most of the time, people will concentrate only on Java, C Sharp, and these kind of things. So try to concentrate on this kind of language as well, where you will get a big bandwidth to get the job. Okay. Okay, and next one is the GitLab. So this is a version controller. Okay, so we might be any developer. Okay, we might be a C sharp developer or a Java developer or any programming language developer. Okay, but this is the way this version controller may be similar or other kind of things, alternative kind of version controls. Okay, each and every organization will use. So version control is basically used for maintaining the source code. Okay, so we'll see more detail about it. Okay, and if you see the GitLab, it's a open source currently, and this is the one most of the industries were using now. The GitLab, and some people will call it as a GitLab as well. And TFS, it's the Team Foundation Server. It's a license nowadays. And SVN, it is for most of the people who use for the documentation maintenance kind of things. Okay.